Man, our nation, we live in a strange world right now. A strange world where political madness runs the world. If you guys have been living under a rock, here on Man Hour, we don't get in a lot of political stuff, but I was bored at work today, Combsy, and I made the accident of posting about the student loan debt forgiveness plan. Basically, Joe Biden is going to give, $20,000 to $10,000, basically relief on your federal student loans. And quickest way to piss people off is to say something political. And by golly, Combsy, that is exactly what I did. People were saying, oh, since like I'm paying for like the debt, I should get a diploma, yada, yada, yada. Pause. First things first, guys. We as Americans have already paid off these debts, these taxes, right? It's just me, I'm paying back your taxes in the end, right? Just because when the federal government gives me a loan to go to college back in 2005, 2006, those taxes have already been paid. They've already paid that. So for you to say, oh, it's going to cost us $3 billion, okay, I get it, whatever. You think what you want to think in the end. But here on Man Hour Nation, I think logically. And logically, Combs, I have come to the decision that I no longer want to pay for people to have food stamps. I no longer want to pay for my grandpa to have Social Security. I no longer want to pay for the Mexicans crossing the border illegally to live in our country. Oh, wait, we can't, right? It is what it is. We do what we got to do, Combsy, at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, you are listening to the best damn sports show on the planet. And let's get into the sports. Combsy, cue that intro.
Are you ready for the best damn sports radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. Why I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhoster here with the Man Hour Show, to head to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page. Of course, check out the blog section as well. We do got an action-packed show for you tonight. We got the infamous Way or No Way all night tonight. So if you guys got a Way or No Way you'd like to ask us, pop it up here in the chat. And myself and the man of the hour, Mr. BC Combs, will get that and we'll answer it, way or no way. But let's welcome the man, the myth, the legend himself, the peanut butter to my ladies, Mr. Brandon Beastie Combs. What's going on, Beastie?
What is going on, Buck? What's going on, Man Hour Nation? What is up? Hey, what do you do with peanut butter to your ladies?
So sometimes my dog sneaks into bed.
All
so
right,
when
stop.
Okay.
Stop.
So, I do have these nice, clean shaved balls now, though, Combs. Like, my balls are by far the cleanest balls on this radio show right now. Because Man Hour is officially sponsored by Manscaped now, Combsy. Promo code Man Hour, guys, at manscaped.com. So, we're pretty excited about that. But look what came in the mail today, Combs. This is called...
How do you know my balls aren't cleaner than yours?
That one Tuesday night when we had too many beers playing softball. Don't you remember that?
No.
Oh, that's why. But Manscaped sent us this awesome weed whacker comb. So, you're getting older, I'm getting older, and we're getting that hair in our ears or a little bit of nose things. This weed whacker combs, it spins 42,000 revolutions a minute. Zzz.
That sounds dangerous, man.
Hey, Cindy did it earlier, and I heard it literally it sounded like a weed whacker in my ear. I'm like, whoa.
Bro, we're both redheads, man. Something might get lodged up in there.
Whoa. I don't understand. I'm not following.
But we're huge in Asia, please.
I picked up what you're putting down. But guys, like I said, Man Hour is officially sponsored by Manscaped.com now. And Combs, fantasy football draft is just around the corner. And CeeDee Lamb is a great player. But have you seen these beautiful balls lately, Combs? It's time to get your snake looking right for the snake draft coming up. And this is today's sponsor of the show is Manscaped, the leader in the below-the-waist grooming that have created championship lineup for the Performance Package 4.0. Join the 6+ million men worldwide that trust Manscaped. Get ready to kick off going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with promo code MANHOUR. 20% plus free shipping. So join the 6 million people out there, Combs, to get these clean nuts, and then you can draft CeeDee Lamb in the 5th round. So it's a win-win.
It could be 6,000 people. You never know. I mean, it's 2022.
6
It's
million.
6 million. I mean, it could be people. It might not just be men. I mean, it's 2022. There's plenty of women who are men now, and men who are women now, and maybe a woman just wants to she wants to trim and she likes the Manscaped trimmer. She could use it.
Cindy already said she's
see if
taking
Michelle
claim
wants
to
to
it.
borrow mine. So
Cindy says she's always taking claim to it. But
hey, dude, I'm all for it.
But if you buy the Performance Package 4.0, Combs, it comes with this weed whacker here. It comes with a beard trimmer, a ball toner, a ball conditioner, which makes your balls smell great.
Whoa. What is a ball toner?
I don't know yet. I do not. I have not used it, but I feel like it's going to like tone my balls, make them look sexy.
Is it a liquid, or
it
is
is
this
a
like
liquid? It is something that you rub on your balls after you shave them, so maybe they're not like chafing or anything like that. So yeah.
Okay.
So I believe that is what it's for. But this Performance 4.0 package also comes with a boxer briefs and a travel bag, all for $99 with promo code MANHOUR.
Yeah, I ordered mine. I have not gotten it in the mail yet. It's actually supposed to come today, but like I was telling you before the show, my mailman sucks. I really think that maybe they go they go every day to pick up the mail at the post office. But I think they go home after and decide on which days they want to work that week to drop it all off. But I haven't received mine yet. But I was reading about it, and I'm like, oh wow, this seems pretty cool. It's one of them is waterproof.
Yeah,
like the
water resistant,
waterproof, so you can take it in the shower and not have to worry. Like I'm usually like over the toilet trying to make sure the hairs fall into the water,
Yeah.
And now I don't have that worry. Now I can just, right there. And right now my kids are watching the show and they are like, I am never going to see my dad the same way again.
Hey, those kids are getting of age now, Combsy. They're going to need to take care of themselves. There's a Christmas present for you right there. Promo code MANHOUR. Get them the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. Those little 3 pubes that they got. Nice and Manscaped.
Yeah. Right.
Nice and Manscaped.
Perfect.
All right.
I'll look great for the wedding. I'll be nice and smooth.
We have paid the bills now. Manscaped is a proud sponsor of the Man Hour. Be sure to go to manscaped.com. Promo code MANHOUR. Save yourself 20% plus free shipping, which is a lot, actually. I mean, 20% is a pretty big deal. But it is Tuesday, Combsy, and that means we get into the way or no ways here on the edition of Man Hour Sports Talk. So obviously, Combs, NFL season is right around the corner. Week 3 of the NFL preseason is happening right now. We got the Chiefs versus the Packers happening right now, which I'm kind of sad that I'm missing because City's in there while watching it. But let's travel across the United States to the East Coast to New Jersey, where the New York Jets' Denzel Mims has officially requested a trade. For those of you that don't know who Denzel Mims is, I'm not surprised at all. He was a second-round pick in 2020. He just has 31 catches on 490 yards in 20 total games as his 2 seasons as a New York Jet. He also is currently 7th on the depth chart, Combs, so he is not even like in that number 1 rotation. He's actually on the verge of getting cut. So to demand a trade is kind of ballsy. So way or no way, the Jets will get anything from Denzel Mims if this trade does happen.
No, I don't know why they just don't cut him. I don't like. I'm so sick of, like, I get the player empowerment, right? Like, you've got guys like Roquan Smith, who doesn't even have an agent. He's representing himself. and he's doing the whole battling back and forth. Didn't work out so well for him because his holdout ended already, and he's back
The
at
hold
practice,
in,
and so
right?
he's going
It's
to
the
play out
hold
the
in
season.
now.
Yeah, the hold in. And then you got a guy here in Denzel Mims who is just like, I mean, anybody can take his place. He's not a world beater. You're talking about a guy who's got 31 catches in 2 seasons for less than 500 yards. No touchdowns. So I personally, if I'm the Jets, I just part ways. You're not going to get anything in trade. I mean, I don't even think I wouldn't give up a 7th rounder for this guy. I'm going to wait for you to cut him. We know he's frustrated. You know he's frustrated. Chalk up your losses, let him go, and see if he finds a home elsewhere. Because what are you going to do with the guy?
Right.
You're not going to pay him. You're not going to do anything. Just this guy is he doesn't count. Basically, like I don't know how else to put it. You know what I mean? Like, look, this guy's in the NFL. He's a better athlete than I am. He's a better athlete than I have ever been. You've played at a high level. I mean, you former like all world, Mr. Olympian football player over here. But
Such a strong man.
You've played at a high level of football. So let me ask you. If you get a guy who you're playing on a team, you've played in the Arena League, you played in the Canadian Football League too, as well, right?
Right.
So, like, if you have a guy on your team and you're 6th, you're the 6th guy or 7th guy on the wide receiving core, right? And we only run 3 wide receivers out there anyway, so there's another 3 guys before you.
Right.
How do you perceive that in the locker room?
So as I would perceive it, I would see as a man that is frustrated in his situation, just because, let's just be honest, he is a 2nd round pick. So obviously he was a elite athlete in college. I mean, he was a top 10, top 5 receiver in all of the NCAA. So for him to be frustrated, it's very apparent. But at the end of the day, if you are not performing in practice and you are a 6th, 7th receiver on a team, shut your damn mouth. Like, shut up and carry me some water, because that's exactly what you are going to be doing if you keep running your mouth the way you are. Just because, let's just be honest, Denzel Mims has another 2 years left on his contract with the New York Jets. He can demand a trade all he wants. Look what the 49ers are doing to Jimmy G. You can demand a trade, but let's just be honest. We're just not going to play you. We are just going to literally waste your career. So if Denzel Mims doesn't just shut his mouth, Combs, he is going to be wasting his career, and he is going to be one of those what if. What if he could have got on the field? What if he could have just shown up and done well? So
yeah, but I mean, he's been there. I mean, he's played. He just hasn't. He hasn't shined. Like, look, if you're that good, an NFL team is going to notice, especially an NFL team like the Jets, who has really no weapons at wide receiver.
Well, hang on. The Jets are kind of loaded.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. And let me ask you another question. Did you know who Denzel Mims was before you Googled it when you found out that he was holding out?
Yes, because I play Madden, and I'm actually on the Jets franchise, and he got cut 4th year in the franchise league. So
you're already on the 4th year in the franchise league?
No,
this is right?
I do not have 23. I have 22 still.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, and Garrett Wilson. I mean, you're behind Braxton Berrios and a guy named Jeff Smith.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I didn't know who you were. When you told me before the show, you're like, yeah, we're gonna talk about this Denzel Mims, who's not looking very good. I'm like, who the hell's Denzel Mims? So I had to Google it real quick to see what he's done. He's irrelevant. And if I'm the Jets, he's cut by morning.
So you do not cut him because he is still an elite talent out of the University of Baylor Hero, and you did waste a 2nd round pick on him back in 2020. So there is still some room for him to grow and become an athlete. Now, on the flip side of the coin, yes, he only has 31 catches and 90 yards, but he's only played 18 games. I think he had 9 his rookie season and 11 last season. So he has kind of been injury plagued anyways. So maybe this year could be his coming out party because Zach Wilson does look good. Joe Flacco does look good. So, and the Jets are kind of in a great position to win a lot of games. So Denzel Mims could be their X factor as a receiver coming off the bench if one of those big names that you just mentioned happen to get hurt.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. And sometimes you just got to cut your losses, right? Like, just because you spent a second round pick on this kid, doesn't mean you have to hang on to him. We've talked before. I'm a field supervisor for a construction company. If I hire a kid on because he tells me he has all this experience and everything looks good, and he shows me these pictures of some work that he's supposedly done, great, I hire him on. And then if I find out just by going to job sites and by looking at the kid that he really doesn't know his ass from his elbows, I'm not going to keep hanging out with him just because I paid him to come on board. I'm going to get rid of the guy. And at some point, you got to cut your losses and chalk it up. And, I mean, your third year in, and now you're frustrated. You're frustrated with what? You've got less than 500 yards in your career. You have 0 touchdowns, and you have 30-something catches. What are you frustrated with?
Maybe he's just frustrated in the position that he is in New York, because maybe sometimes, Combs, players just need a new situation, right? Let's look at maybe Sammy Watkins, right? He kind of fizzled out in Buffalo after his second year, and then he went to Kansas City and kind of had a coming out party again. Yes, he couldn't stay healthy, but he shines somewhere else. Marshawn Lynch, the same way. Hated Buffalo, hated New York. Everybody thought he was going to be a bust. He went to Seattle. He became beast mode, right? So maybe he just needs a new scene, like a new field, like a new coach, like a new voice in his head.
Dude, you're playing for the Jets. The Jets, Jets.
Yeah.
You or me could go out there to practice right now and probably catch more than 30 passes.
Oh, come on now. Come on.
We could go out on that field. It's the Jets. If you can't stand out in that group of players, you're not going to stand out anywhere in the league. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're frustrated. How frustrated do you think the Jets organization is that they spent a second round pick on a guy who's got 40 catches in 2 years?
I see what you're saying there, Combs, but at the end of the day, these are NFL athletes. The Jets are going to win a lot of games. The Jets are going to back their way into the playoffs this year, Combs. Let's look at their schedule. The first of all,
it's your Lions prediction, but instead of saying Lions, you're saying Jets.
First things first is the Jets are not that bad. They are actually a pretty good team. And then when we look at their schedule, it's pretty favorable. I mean, they play Denver, they play Chicago.
It's favorable because they had 4 wins last year.
Exactly. They could easily double that this season. Easily double that.
They are not going to double that this season. They play Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh in the first 4 weeks. They're going to be 0-4 coming out of the first 4 weeks. Then they play Miami. They're going to lose that game. They play Green Bay, Denver, New England, and Buffalo after that.
Win, baby.
This is not a favorable schedule.
Yes. After you play Patriots back to back there with Buffalo mixed in, they play Chicago. They play Detroit, Jacksonville, Seattle, and Miami. Right there's 4 wins out of your last 5.
No, stop.
Come on.
First of all, stop. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. I'll go like this. Buck, if they are better than 2-7 after week 9,
okay,
I will take our new weed whacker, and I will shave my head with that weed whacker while we do the show.
Okay, perfect. I'm down for it.
That's how confident I am that you are completely wrong about the New York Jets being a good
They might
team.
start the season 3-0.
You're high on something.
I'm high
Cindy,
on
come
life.
get your man. Cindy, come get your man.
No, look at they play Baltimore at home week 1 p.m. game.
they lose by a lot.
Lamar Jackson's probably going to shit the bed in that game because he's all worried about.
Then they're at
Cleveland. Give me the next big contract at Cleveland versus
That's
the
their first
fifth-string
win.
quarterback in Josh Rosen.
That's their first win. I said they're gonna.
Okay.
They might be 2-7.
Then they're going to beat
lose to
Cincinnati.
Cincy.
They're going to
Stop
beat
it.
Cincinnati. Yes,
They're gonna lose to Pittsburgh.
I agree with that.
They're gonna lose to Miami.
No, they'll beat Miami
They're gonna lose to Green Bay.
probably.
They might beat Denver. That'd be the second one I give them. They're gonna lose to New England.
Hang
They're gonna lose
on.
to Buffalo.
Denver's at Denver. Denver's a very hard place to play, so I'm going to give Denver Broncos that game.
Nah, I'm not high on the Broncos. They might lose that game too, but that's what I'm saying. Like I only give them 1 or 2 wins heading in. They're not. But instead of beating Denver, they might beat Miami instead. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Okay.
This is not a very good team. And then even after that, lose at New England. They're going to lose at New England. They're going to lose against the Bears. The Bears are a better team than people give them credit for. They're going to lose to Minnesota. That's the best team in the NFC North. No, the Bears are better. The Bears are an 8-9 win team. Everybody thinks they're a 5-6 win team. I think they're an 8-9 win team.
They're 8-9 win team without Justin Fields. They need Andy Dalton back.
You're stupid.
I'm not stupid.
And then they're at
Right.
Buffalo. They might beat your Lions, the other team that you think is going to win the division every year. So, I mean, that last 4 weeks is kind of favorable. They got Detroit, Jacksonville, Seattle, and Miami.
Lions
again,
a 10-win
so-
team. Let's jump into the chat here, Combs. Alpha Rob in the chat says, "What's up, guys? What is up, Alpha Rob?
What's going on, Alpha Rob?
Missed you, Alpha Rob. I'm glad we're back. We were talking Buffalo Bills were boosting your ego a little bit there." He says, "What year did you play, Buck?" So I played in college from 2005 till 2009. Then I went to Canada from 2009 to 2012. Winnipeg Blue Bombers. That's where I was at. I was a Blue Bomber, flying my blue balls into those bombers. And then from 2013 to 2016 or 17, I cannot remember sure, I played in the CIF. So there you go. And then Alpha Rob says the Jets are going to miss the below average the Jets are going to miss his below average production. I mean, give him the ball, let the man get a chance to perform. He was a killer at Baylor. Like not figuratively, but literally, he literally slayed bitches in Baylor. And then Alpha Rob's like, it is like a cook being frustrated that he doesn't have customers and his food sucks. I like that analogy. I'm gonna have to put that on a shirt. I'm mad because I don't have customers and my food sucks. I love it. but yeah, I mean, obviously, Denzel Mims has kind of been it's kind of been a no-win situation, anyways. Like you can request anything you want, but at the end of the day, only the top-tier athletes really get what they ask for, right? Russell Wilson requested requested a trade, and it took them like 3 months to figure it out, right? Baker Mayfield requested a trade at what it took them damn near 6 months to figure it out. Jimmy G's requesting a trade, and he still hasn't got it. So, what do you want at the end of the day?
I mean, I don't know. I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
About how much I'm sneezing right now. Man, I got like snot hanging out from my nose. Man,
I just read a comment on Facebook. There's this got into a thing where there's made a post about the Green Bay Packers and how he thinks it's funny when people say that the Packers have had only 2 Super Bowls in 30 years of Hall of Fame play, but they've got more Super Bowl wins in that time frame than the whole division does ever. And I'm like, oh, great. So basically what you're saying is you're okay with being mediocre, even though you should have been better, but you're okay with being mediocre because everybody else around you sucked. I mean, can you imagine if the New England Patriots are like, yeah, I know we won 6 Super Bowls, but here's 4 of them back because everybody else sucked around us. We only need 2.
Hey,
like
Mark Sanchez has more playoff wins than Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen combined. Just saying.
No more. He doesn't.
Yes, he does.
Josh Allen has won 3 on his own now.
1?
No.
1?
He won 1 the year before, and they won 2 last year, didn't they? Weren't they in the AFC title game?
No, they lost to the Chiefs. 13 seconds.
Oh, sorry, 50. Yeah. All right.
Just saying.
So then he's won 2 because they won the year before that.
Okay, Mark Sanchez led the Jets to the AFC Championship game. I'm just saying.
So that's 2 wins.
Yeah, better than Lamar Jackson.
You know what Lamar Jackson hasn't done? Fumbled into the butt of his center.
Oh. You also know what Lamar Jackson hasn't done? Completed a pass over 60 yards.
Is that true?
That's
not true.
That is true. I just PPF it. PPF it. F it did. I say that.
PPF? PP. You did what with your PP?
I PPF it. It did.
Oh boy.
I pro football referenced it.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. The next way or no way of the night here. We have seen a lot of joint practices, Rams versus Bengals, Eagles versus Dolphins, Jets versus Commanders, and they all seem to be ending in fight, Combs. Like, they are battling, they are brawling. So way or no way, the NFL should air these joint practices because they're must-see TV. They're a lot better than the preseason games.
These practices are happening during the day while people are at work. You're going to see the highlight anyway when you get home. I'm not so sure anybody's taking any time off to just watch these or throwing them up on the computer. Especially when you're going up against, baseball's in the push for, the hunt for October. And I don't know that it necessarily needs to be televised. I mean, we watch the highlights anyway, and all you're looking for is the fights. I mean, there are some people who will watch the practices. I mean, you can go catch tape of the practices on, you can usually find them on YouTube or whatever the case is. I don't know about televising them though. I don't know you would get enough out of that. From a business standpoint, I don't think that is a very smart decision.
So you're going with no way. I'm going with way 100% because when we watch the NFL preseason games, the average person, I'd say probably 65% of the people don't even watch past the first quarter anyways, let alone the first series. Once the star quarterback comes out of the game, 9 times out of 10, people are tuning out. Combs, during these joint practices, it is ones versus ones for 100 plays. They are going at it. They are at each other. This is must-see TV, Combsy. Just because you want to itch that football itch, you move these joint practices. No. You don't even need to move them. Do you remember during the COVID season when we had football on a Tuesday afternoon at 2:00? How many people tuned into that game at work? Damn near everybody. I would 100% turn it on, NFL.com, on my computer at work and be watching that joint practice, watching ones versus ones 100% of the time. I could care less about the fights. I want to see the actual matchups. I want to see number one receiver versus number one corner 15 plays in a row. What gets underneath that cornerback skin to cause that Davante Adams versus whoever fight, right? What causes that? Think about this. How big a fantasy impact would that make if hey, when Davante Adams lines up 7 yards outside the hash off of the ball, he is running a slant. Think about how much better commentary we can have. Think about how much better fantasy predictions we can have. Air these motherfuckers.
I don't know. I think you're in the minority there. I really do. I don't think that it's like preseason baseball, right? There's not a whole lot of people that will sit down and watch a whole preseason baseball game, but then you got idiots like me who will go sit down, turn it on the computer, right, and watch spring training games all day long. And I think that there's just not enough of it there, which is why you see teams that have their own networks, like the Cubs. They don't even air all of their spring training games; they air a handful of them. So there's just not enough of it there. There's not enough. People would rather watch other things than watch the practices or anything. So I think there's a small group of people that would watch it. I think there's a small group of people that will intake any part of football that you can give them.
Right.
I mean, hell, I'm a part of a fantasy football league that did their draft in May. Like,
I do remember.
I mean,
that, yeah.
you know what I mean. So it's like people will take it in, but it's a very small percentage of people.
So you are saying like the financials aren't there. Okay, I get that 100%. So the practices are filmed anyways for scouting purposes, right? It is not hard to hook that camera up to a computer, stream it on their YouTube channel. Every NFL team has a verified YouTube channel. Put it up on your YouTube channel and make a little bit of money off of it. Hell, people will super chat that shit. They'll like it. They'll share it. You could probably get 100,000 people viewing those things hands down. Hell, you could possibly break YouTube.
I have a better idea.
Okay.
You put the man hour on your verified YouTube channel, NFL.
There you go. Perfect.
Put the man hour on there. We'll take over that bitch.
Yeah.
Let's go.
With our Manscaped Weed Whacker, I would have the best no hairs trimmer hands down on set, man. That'd be perfect,
dude. Yeah, like I mean, we'll have all sorts of contests. We'll be shaving our balls on TV.
Cindy said I'm getting laid tonight since I got to shave my nose hair, so I'm pretty excited about it. So
you're married. She lied.
Yeah, 100%. She's watching Big Brother. She'll be asleep by the time we get out there.
That's like Michelle when she's like, "Let's put on a movie." I'm like, "We could, but you'll be asleep before the credits." I'm not even tired. Turn on the movie. Credits are done. Here.
Or the best one, let's watch a movie on Netflix. 45 minutes later, we're still trying to find a movie that we agree on to watch. I'm like, I'm just going to get on my phone and go to bed. Alpha Rob says, "What are you on, Buck?" I am on Bud Light mixed with Crown and Mountain Dew. I am off tomorrow, so I am getting lit tonight. Josh Allen has 3 playoff wins.
And Mountain Dew.
Congratulations, Josh Allen. You have 3 playoff wins, 0 Super Bowl wins. Patrick Mahomes has 3 Super Bowl wins his first year, so I'm just going to put that out there. So, whatever. Combs Jr. says, "Man, our nation." What's up, Combs Jr.? I heard you got 3 cubes that you could use the Manscaper on it. Promo code ManHour. Just
Then him and Alpha Rob are going at it.
Yeah, they are. Junior in his 9-8 passes here. That is incorrect, Alpha Rob. They are a 5-12 team, 4th place in the AFC East. Just saying. Combs Jr. says Alpha Rob and his 2nd round playoff losing Bills are here. Yes, they are. 13 seconds. I mean, I can even last 13 seconds. Come on, Alpha Rob. I like that, Junior. Ooh, getting romantic. You guys would have been perfect on cable when cable was cable.
Yeah, either way, you're right. I mean,
when cable was cable, was that when Howard Stern was on like cable TV?
Yeah, I mean, look, they had the what was it, the Man Show?
Yeah. That was HBO Sports, wasn't it? Is that on HBO Sports? Is that what that was on?
Yeah, I mean, they had all sorts of things. I mean, but they did stupid stuff on that show. Those, they had all sorts of things going on. But I mean, South Park, all that stuff. That was before people start getting, offended by everything.
Speaking of being offended, Michelle was offended when she heard the news today that Gronk was going to Cincinnati. Obviously, that was a troll post because Gronk will never go anywhere without Tom Brady. So, Combs, let me ask you this: way or no way, Gronk to the Cincinnati Bengals will happen at some point.
I'm gonna go way here, and before you start yelling at me, I know I said before that I don't think Gronk will play anywhere without Tom Brady, but the Cincinnati Bengals are a legit Super Bowl contender. They were just there last year. How dangerous would he make that team? How dangerous does Rob Gronkowski make that team with the weapons they already have? And you add a tight end like that. I mean, they've already got a really good tight end over there as well. By the way, they've got a really good, but it's Gronk, and this guy knows how to win. He's won Super Bowls. He's been there before. Bring that leadership in with that young team. I don't know. I'm gonna say way. I'm gonna give it a shot.
You can give it a shot all you want, but your shot is 100% false. 100% wrong. Okay? Do you want to know why? It's cold in Cincinnati, Combs. It is cold in Cincinnati. Gronk only played 12 games last year because those games that he missed, they were going to cold weather stadiums, and he didn't want to play because he didn't like the cold. No, he had like a sprained ankle or a torn quad, whatever, right?
He breathed it in. He woke up and he had a concussion.
Right. Last season, he did have 55 catches for 802 yards on 12 games played. Not terrible. He was number 5 in tight end range there. But to say that Gronk would help Cincinnati catapult them to the Super Bowl and that the Cincinnati Bengals are a Super Bowl team, what did Alpha Rob say? What are you on, Buck? What are you on, Combs? The Cincinnati Bengals aren't even the best team in their division, let alone their conference. How are they a Super Bowl favorite by any stretch of the imagination?
They went to the Super Bowl last year.
They got hot at the right time. They were a 10-7 regular season team.
AFC champions.
They were.
What do you mean? What am I on? They're the reigning AFC champ. This is coming from. What am I on? Coming from a man who just told us that the Jets were going to go to the playoffs,
right?
And that they had a good schedule when they've got like a gauntlet of a first place team. Stop. What am I on?
Yeah. So
Gronk would absolutely make this team a powerhouse. Absolutely.
Powerhouse and Cincinnati Bengals don't mix, Combs, at all. They were 10-7 in the regular season. They snuck into the playoffs. They went into Tennessee.
Your Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC title game.
The only reason why they lost to the
Tennessee, your Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC title game.
They got lucky. They got hot at the right time.
Okay.
Basically, the only reason why they passed the Tennessee Titans in that wild card game was because King Henry got hurt, and then he was not 100% in that game. And Evan Money McPherson happened to kick like a 60-yard field goal to like win that game. And then they snuck past who was the next team that they played. Was it who did they play next? So it was the Bengals versus Chiefs, and then the Bengals versus the
in the Super Bowl?
No, in the playoffs last season. Who they play in the second game? It was the Ravens, right? Because they knocked out Lamar Jackson.
The Ravens, yes.
I think it was the Ravens. I'm not for sure. But either way, they did win that second game, and they did get hot. And then they played a struggling Kansas City Chiefs team that shouldn't even been in the AFC Championship game last season. Let's just be honest about it. Alpha Rob said they did play the Raiders, but then the Raiders did play what I totally forgot. But the Raiders didn't win a playoff game, I don't think. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Either way, the Cincinnati Bengals just got hot at the right time. They are not a powerhouse team. When you put powerhouse and the AFC teams together, you put the Buffalo Bills in there. You're going to put the Steelers in there. You're going to put the Kansas City Chiefs in there. You might put the Chargers in there. Nowhere do the Cincinnati Bengals fall as a powerhouse team, Combs. No way, no how. They are not even a top 7 team in the AFC right now in my book.
The Bengals beat the Raiders in the wild card.
Right. And then they beat the Titans.
They beat Tennessee in the divisional round. They waxed the Chiefs in the conference championship.
They did.
And then they played in the Super Bowl. And we all know what happened there.
Yeah, they lost because they're not a powerhouse team.
They lost 23-20.
Yep. To a team that was bought and like 40 years old, right? Like
to one of the best teams in the NFL.
Are you serious right now?
The Rams aren't one of the best teams in the NFL. They're the Super Bowl champions, Buck. Stop. They are the number 1 team in my power rankings.
And you're absolutely wrong with those freaking power rankings, but we'll get into
No,
that.
I'm not absolutely wrong with those power rankings. Why? Because your stupid Chiefs aren't in them?
No,
the
that
Chiefs
has,
aren't in them because they're the third best team in their own division. They don't
I
belong
don't
in
think
the
the
top 10.
Chiefs deserve to be in the top 10 right now. You are 100% right. But to put the Chargers
That's
and Raiders
not
up
what
there,
you said on Facebook.
you are dumb. Because I troll like the best of them, Colby. You know who Buck Nasty is. Come on, baby. You know how it is. But Combs Jr. says, what? The Bengals are my Super Bowl pick. Well, Combs Jr., I wouldn't be putting no money on them because they're not even going to make the freaking playoffs this season. I said it. Bengals aren't making the playoffs.
But the Jets are. Okay.
No.
Yep.
I said the Jets have a possibility of backing their way into the playoffs. Never said they were
Right.
a playoff team, but they have a way of back. They could back their way into the playoffs, meaning they'll probably be a 7 to 9 win team.
I can't. Like I can't with you.
So let me ask you this: as currently constructed in the NFL, don't add Gronk in there. Don't add Jimmy G to the Steelers. Are the Bengals the best team in their division?
Yes.
I
I do believe the Bengals are the best team in their
You
division.
seem very conflicted by that. Who was your second team that you're kind of teetering on, like back and forth with? Was it the Steelers?
No, it's the Ravens.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think it's between the Bengals and the Ravens.
Okay.
I do like the Steelers. I like the Browns, but I don't like them this year because of not having their starting quarterback. But
Can I give you a wild take here, just like a wild thought, like in my head? Because Deshaun Watson suspended for 11 games, right? What if Jacoby Brissett leads the Browns to at least one game under 500? Do the Browns make the playoffs? So say they're like 5-6 or 6-5. Because really, if you think about it, if they are 5-6, 9 wins probably gets you into the playoffs in the AFC as a wild card, maybe 10. So we're looking in 7 weeks worth of games. They need to win 5 games. Can Deshaun Watson do that?
yeah, I mean, what is that? I'd have to look at their schedule and all that. But
Let me pull up for you real quick here. Obviously this is all here, like thinking, if Hunt is still on the team, because Hunt is demanding a trade. If Chubb can carry the team, if Jacoby Brissett can just not suck. I mean, the Browns are a pretty good team. They have a really good receiver core with Amari Cooper. So Deshaun Watson comes back versus Houston. It's at Houston. Then they play at Cincinnati, the Bengals, Saints, Commanders, and Steelers to end the season. Pretty tough slate of games there to end it. Let's just be honest about that.
yeah, but and that's the thing. Like, if you're playing well, even if you're 6-5 and he comes back week 12, do you institute him or are you waiting for next season?
I think you have to, because you wasted $350 million on on the guy. Like, you have to throw him in as soon as he's eligible. And especially versus Houston, they might flex that game to like a primetime game. Let's just be honest about it.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely going to flex that to a primetime game. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
There's no way around that. They're going to want all eyes on it. They're going to want to see everything.
Alpha Rob says no because Watson hasn't played a real game in 2+ seasons. Absolutely right. I didn't even think about that. There'll be a lot of rust on the guy.
Yeah, then that's my point. Like, if you're contending for a playoff spot at that point, maybe you obviously Brissett's not killing you, or who's the other guy they got there?
Josh Rosen they signed.
Josh Rosen.
Yeah.
Maybe they're both not killing you.
They also have Josh Dobbs still, the guy from the Ravens that I thought was better than Lamar Jackson. So
And like you said, Bengals, Ravens, Saints, Commanders, Steelers, and it's at Bengals, at Texans. So 4 of those 6 are on the road.
Right.
You know, do you put them in that situation? I mean, we saw what happened with them in the preseason game. I mean, what they're chanting in the stands and
Right.
you know all that stuff. Do you put them in that situation, or do you let it simmer for next season and bring them back in the preseason and then go week 1?
I think by December rolls around, because that Houston game is December 4th. I think we are done past that Deshaun Watson chance, because I mean, he might go to Houston and he'll probably get booed, you know, just because, hey, you were our franchise guy for 5 years or whatever, like he was there, and then he allegedly did all this stuff. But the only way I do not see Deshaun Watson playing in that Houston Texans game is if the Browns are hot in a playoff berth, like a playoff hunt, and they're like 8-3 or 7-4. Then that you have to ride with the hot hand.
See, I'm looking at the schedule. I've got them at 4-8 heading into that game.
Yeah, their schedule is not easy.
They lose. They maybe beat the Panthers. I think they lose to the Panthers. I think Baker Mayfield has his revenge game
100%.
on week 1. They maybe beat the Jets. That's a close game. I think they lose to the Steelers. They have a chance against the Falcons, but they lose to the Chargers. They lose to the Patriots. They lose to the Ravens. They lose to the Bengals. They lose to the Dolphins. They lose to the Bills, and they lose to the Bucks heading into that game against the Texans.
Yeah.
They've got a talented team. They've got a good running back core. I mean, anything can happen. It is the NFL. We do see stuff all the time that, you know, we don't see coming, like the Bengals in the Super Bowl.
100%.
But, you know, I don't see a scenario where they're in contention. So that leads to the other point. If you're not in contention, it's a no-brainer, right? You don't bring Deshaun Watson back this season.
I think you do bring him back because you are out of contention, so he can play loose and free and wear off that rust from not playing for 757 days or whatever it'll be by the time he comes back.
And then you're gonna get your ass handed to you if you're a 3-11 team, and he tears his ACL, and you lose him for next season too. Like, I mean, like. I don't know. If I'm the Browns, I don't think I play Deshaun Watson at all this year. I say, look, we're going to protect our investment and we're going to bring him back next season. Even if I'm in playoff contention. If I'm in playoff contention, that means my team's playing well without Deshaun Watson.
Right. And on the flip side of the coin, they are only paying him $1 million this season too.
And if you're playing well and you're close to playoff contention, not only is your team playing well, but do you want to put them in the spot where they're going to have to answer all the Deshaun Watson questions again?
Yeah.
Like,
or the fact that you have to learn a new quarterback, you know, in the heat of the playoff. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I think for me, I don't think Deshaun Watson plays this year.
Yeah. I would hate to be Kevin Stefanski this season just because you're kind of in a no-win situation no matter what you are.
I think if you had stayed with the 6-game suspension, had it still been a 6-game suspension, which I still think it should have been, and it should have maybe been lessened, not raised, but that's a story for something else. But I think at 6 games, yes, you bring them back after that, right? 6 games, anything can happen the rest of the season. You still got 9 games to go. Let's see what we've got, or actually 11 games to go at that point. Let's see what we've got. But I mean, you're already 13 games into the season. What are you going to do? Especially if you're out of it.
True. Very, very true. Combs Jr. says we won't see a good Watson until next season at the earliest. I don't know.
Well, you know how you see a good Watson before next season?
Get him some more massages?
Go get your massage license.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Combs Jr. You got your job. BCJ says, Buck, tell your dealer to ease up a bit on the stuff you're buying. Man, I won't ease up, never ease up. Shit.
Yeah, just trying to promote quitting?
Yeah, quitters never win. What are you talking about, man? Chiefs are 7-10 this season. Get the F out of here. Did you feed him that horse crap, Combs?
I absolutely did not. I don't think the Chiefs are that bad. I don't think that they're that good, but I don't think they're that bad either. I see the Chiefs at about 8 to 9 wins.
Every team in the AFC West has a winning record this season if the Broncos decide to play well and they all make the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, look, 9-8 is a winning record.
Yeah. And they're making the playoffs. I'm just saying.
They're not making the playoffs.
The Chiefs are. The Broncos are probably going to be 5-12. The Broncos are going to be bad. But
I think the Broncos are the worst team in that division.
hands down.
I think that the Chiefs are. I think the Chiefs are in more trouble than people think. I really do. Look, I know Patrick Mahomes this and Patrick Mahomes that, but I really feel like the loss of Tyreek Hill really hurt this team more than fans of the team are willing to admit, including yourself.
Yep. 100%.
And I mean, their schedule, man, is just. I mean, they start out hot.
Yep.
Let's go to the Cardinals. Let's play the Chargers. Let's play the Colts. Let's play the Bucks. Let's play the Raiders. Let's play the Bills, the Niners, and the Titans. I mean, in the first 8 weeks there, you could find yourself sitting at 2-6 or 3-5 very easily.
And how about this? 3 of their first 5 games are primetime games.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like it's a tough schedule. You know, then you do get the Jaguars, and you know, some people are saying they're going to be improved, and it's the second year for.
They are.
They're still not. I mean, you should beat the Jaguars.
The
If
Jaguars
you don't,
might
really
win the
in trouble.
AFC South.
Yeah, but then I mean, look at you. You got the Jaguars. You got the problem is that they're out of conference schedule is also the West, and that happens to be the second best division in the NFL. So that's like it's such a tough thing. I really do feel like the Chiefs are going to have a down year. I think they're going to be worse. I think the Raiders got infinitely better. I think the Chargers got infinitely better.
That's why you have them at 4 and 5 in your power rankings, right?
I do. Yeah, I do. And I love the addition of Devontae Adams. There's another addition that nobody really talks about, and adding. Oh, great! Now this name's going to escape me.
Chandler Jones.
Adding Chandler Jones was huge for the Raiders. You line him up on the other side of Max Crosby. Like, I mean, this defense is going to be so damn good. But then look at the Chargers. Like, I mean, look how much havoc they're going to be able to create. Mahomes rolls out to his left. He's going to have Khalil Mack. He rolls out to his right. He's got Joey Bosa. Pick your poison. Like, I don't see this being that same team, and I think you're going to see Patrick Mahomes take a step back. I really do. I think that it's going to be a tough season for Chiefs fans, and I mean.
So with that being said, as a Chiefs fan, I'm not worried about week 1. I'm not worried about week 2. Week 3 for me, Combs, is a measuring stick. It is a Sunday afternoon game traveling to Indianapolis to take on a very, very good Colts team. The reason why I'm not worried about the Arizona game, because it's an opening week game on the road. You are supposed to lose that game. Thursday night game versus the Chargers. Yes, it is a division game. Yes, it's a primetime game, but it's still early season. Week 2, a lot can happen still. Week 3 is when everything starts to click. Everything starts to go. So that week 3 and week 4, as Chiefs fans, as Chiefs Kingdom here, I don't have my hat here, but week 3 when we travel to Indianapolis and week 4 when we travel to Tampa Bay, that'll be huge measuring sticks to see if Combs Jr. is right on the 7-10 record here. Speaking of the Chiefs, Alpha Rob says teams aren't going to be scared of the Chiefs offense without Tyreek Hill. And I don't think that is exactly 100% true, because
no, but I think it changes that dynamic, though, right? Like you take a player like Tyreek Hill out of the equation, that allows your safeties to push up. Right. That also allows a double team for Travis Kelce. Okay. It allows it. It changes so much when you lose a guy that has that much speed, that has that playmaking ability. When you lose that guy and you replace him with who?
Marquez Van Scouting,
Valdez
Juju,
Scantling,
Sky
Juju
Moore, I guess.
Smith Schuster, who hasn't been the same guy since Antonio Brown left.
Right.
Like that, it's a different ring to it, and it's a different offense. And I think you're going to rely too much on Patrick Mahomes to be the player he was his first 3 seasons in the league.
Right.
And I don't think you're going to be able to do that. And I said that when they signed him to this big contract. I said, you're going to have trouble in a couple of years when they can't afford to keep anybody else. It's going to be a different look for Patrick Mahomes. And then you're really going to see how good Patrick Mahomes, the future Hall of Famer,
right.
Let's see how good he really is, because that guy who they were calling on ESPN, the future Hall of Famer, might end up just being a 3-year wonder. Like, I'm just telling you, I really want to see it. Like, if he succeeds, I'll be happy for it. Like, I like Patrick Mahomes. I really like. As a matter of fact, I just got the Patrick Mahomes skin on Fortnite. Like, I like Patrick Mahomes. I really do. I hope the kid succeeds. I hope he gets a different girlfriend because she's annoying. Like, but I really, wife, whatever. You know, hey, nothing wrong with divorce. I've done it twice. You know, like, I really hope Patrick Mahomes succeeds, but I don't see it. Like, I see it from a different angle. I see it from outside of a Kansas City perspective. I see it outside of a ESPN, let's pump this guy up perspective.
Right.
And I see it. I just don't see it playing out well for Patrick Mahomes.
So I agree with everything that you said there. Yes, they're going to move the safeties up and double team Travis Kelce. As I got to sneeze again. I'm sorry.
You're good. But yeah, I mean, it is.
Sorry.
It's free reign for the safeties to come up.
Yeah, but on the flip side of the coin, I am glad you brought Juju up. Juju hasn't been the same since AB left, right? Because Juju wasn't the man. Juju is not going to be the man in Kansas City. Yes, he's the number 1 receiver, very loosely air quotes there. But let's just be honest. Travis Kelce is the man in Kansas City. Travis Kelce is the number 1 threat. With that being said, when you are doubling a tight end, Juju Smith still can get open on the side. I lied. Marquez Scantling is still a pretty fast receiver. McCole Hardman, we have yet to see his potential. He is just as fast as the cheetah is.
Valdez Scantling can't hang on to a pass that's thrown to him past the 9-yard line.
I'm not saying we're going to throw him the ball. His whole job is to run as fast as he can, as far as the field, like as he can, to open it up for Juju underneath.
Yeah, I mean, look, I have to see it. I mean, they're playing right now, I think, actually, aren't they? They're playing against Green Bay tonight.
Yeah, they're on the NFL channel, I believe.
You know, but I just have to see the dynamic of what they're doing, and from what I see and what I've seen over the last couple of years, I'm telling you, I think it's trending down, and I could be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong, you know, but we've been doing this for a couple of years together now, Buck.
Yeah.
And I'm not always right, but I do have, you know, a pretty good eye for some of this stuff. Like, there has been time where, like, I see stuff and people are like, yeah, right. And then they're like, oh, okay. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just a different perspective outside looking in.
Yeah.
For your sake, I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I always root for my friends' teams to do well. I like to see you guys happy, but
right.
I mean,
just like as a fan, like you hope that your whole offense wasn't centered around one guy, right? I mean, like you hope like it was a system, but who knows? Man.
I guess we're gonna find out quickly.
Yeah, come week 3 and week 4. I mean, September's right around the corner.
If you're 0-4, are you shutting it down for the season?
No.
You gonna put on your Green Bay stuff if you're 0-4?
Come on now. But no, honestly though, 0-4 is kind of like the new 0-2, right? It's not that big a deal.
No, that's a big deal. I mean, 0-2. I mean, especially if you've got a good team, a good talented team, and maybe you're just dealing with some injuries or whatever the case is. I believe the Bengals started 0-2 last year, didn't they?
I don't know. I can't remember.
But I mean, there's teams that start out 0-2 and then they came back. But if you got a good team, sure, that's not a big deal. But when you're scratching your head and you don't know what you got, like that's a big deal.
Yeah. So Combs Jr. says Tyreek Hill is the reason for the Chiefs' losing season. This year, they lost Tyreek Hill and gained a TikToker. When he said, have his head in the game, but only Juju worried about his TikTok followers.
He's not wrong.
Hey,
I mean,
cannot
seriously,
wait for
what
the
did they
Jackson
do?
Mahomes.
They got rid of Tyreek Hill and they got Jackson Mahomes' counterpart.
Hey, would you rather have a TikTok star or a podcaster that's trying to make a name for himself in Tyreek Hill?
We're podcasters trying to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, but he is doing it by calling Patrick Mahomes trash.
I mean, he might be. We haven't seen it yet without Tyreek
Sheesh.
Hill.
Alfred says Kelsey is going to get a lot more attention until his
though,
receivers
right?
prove something.
Like we say the same thing for other quarterbacks, and just because it's Patrick Mahomes, I mean, I have to see him perform without that. You know what I mean? Like I have to see what he can do. The same thing when Tom Brady left Bill Belichick. Let's see what Bill does without Tom. Let's see what Tom does without Bill.
Right.
And we've seen it now, right?
They've both been successful.
Tom still won a Super Bowl, and Bill went to the playoffs last year with a second-year quarterback.
Hey, I can tell you by hanging from Patrick Mahomes' nuts for the last 3 seasons, he uses Manscaped. So manscaped.com, promo code ManHour, save yourself 20%.
You're latched onto those things, huh?
Yeah. With my mouth and claws. I'm just right up in there. Alpha Rob says Kelsey is going to get a lot more attention until his receivers prove something. You're absolutely right. That's exactly what we said. Now, this is something Combs Jr. says the Bears will have better record than the Kansas City Chiefs this season. So how about this, Cole Combs? Way or no way? The Chicago Bears will have a better record than the Kansas City Chiefs.
I think they're going to be really close. I see the Bears at an 8-9 win team. Like I really do. I think they're going to be better than what people think. I like some of the things that they've done that other people don't like. Like Mike Martz thinks that they've got the worst offense he's ever seen. Mike Martz, if you're in Chicago, I was listening the other day. Mike Martz is on a radio show, and he says that the Chicago Bears have a worse offense than the 0-16 Lions did.
Mike Martz was the Lions head coach, right, when they went 0-16?
That I don't know. But Mike Martz was a big part of the greatest show on turf. Yep. Like he's a well-respected offensive mind. I kind of disagree with him when it comes to that, right? Like I don't think that they're that bad. Do I like everything that they did? Do I think that they went out and put the exact right pieces around Justin Fields? No, I don't. But I do like some of the things that they did. I think they built to Justin's strengths. And maybe they didn't go and get the names that they needed, but I think they went and got the pieces that they needed. So I do think that this team is going to be better than people think. And it's not just because I'm a Bears fan. It's because I actually think that this team is going to be good. And I'm a big believer in Justin Fields. Yeah. Like if I thought the Bears are going to suck, I'll tell you the Bears are going to suck. You know what I mean? I have no problem with telling you my team's going to suck, but I just don't think that that's the case this year.
So I'm going to go with no way because I do believe that the Kansas City Chiefs will have a winning record this season. And Combs, as your friend and as, the same thing that just like you said, I want your Bears to be successful, but I fear that if the Chicago Bears are too successful this season, like i.e. like a playoff team, they will never be able to properly build a team around Justin Fields. Just because, hey, we have seen this success, so we don't really need to add any more offensive pieces, and they're going to have bad drafts, that type of thing. So I think if the Chicago Bears want to be successful beyond 2022, they kind of had to have a struggling season. I'm talking like 5 to 6 wins.
See, I don't believe that because you can build. You don't have to build in the draft. You can build in free agency.
I'm not saying that they have to build through the draft, but I'm saying that they won't go out and look for the right pieces because they think they got them.
What if they've already built through the draft? You know what I mean? With Jaquan Brisker and Velus Jones, those type of guys. What if Kyler Gordon is that cornerback? What if Jaquan Brisker, who everybody is raving about, is that guy at safety? What if Velus Jones is the next Devin Hester at returning kicks, but with better hands to be a wide receiver. You know what I mean?
You're exactly right.
So maybe they've already done that. Maybe they've already got the pieces. I still like their running back situation. I really do. I still
Mooney,
like the quarterback situation. No, Darnell Mooney's a wide receiver. They've got Montgomery.
Oh yeah, Montgomery. That's what they got. Montgomery. Yeah.
But they've got some pieces there. I think that they're going to be better than what people think. I do like this team for about 8 or 9 wins. I like them to beat teams like the Texans and the Giants and the Washington Commanders and the Lions a couple times, beating the Falcons, beating the Jets. I do like them, to win a game or maybe 2 that they shouldn't, right? They probably, as bad as people think they're going to be, they shouldn't be able to go out there week 1 against the 49ers and win because people think the 49ers are a really good team and they think they're big believers in Trey Lance. They go out there and beat the 49ers and all of a sudden 1-0, and then they find a way to go into Lambeau Field and win a game against Green Bay. All of a sudden you're 2-0 with the Texans, Giants, with the next 2 teams on your schedule. You could be 4-0 heading into that game against Minnesota.
They definitely do have a very favorable schedule this season for the Chicago Bears, 100%. But Alpha Rob says 0-4 in the AFC. It is over. I beg to differ on that. On that, because the Chiefs do have a very tough schedule. Let's just be honest. But toward the latter part of the season, after the bye week, after they play at San Francisco, week 8 is the bye week. Then they come back and they play Tennessee at home, and then the Jaguars, and then the Broncos and the Texans, and then the Seahawks and the Broncos again, and then the Raiders, which they're always trash the second part of the season. So that right there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins. So you can start 0-4 as long as you split those next 3. That's an 8 or 9 win team right there. So 0-4 is not over now with the 17 weeks season. What are your thoughts, Combs?
I don't think 0-4 is over either, especially if you've got a really talented team. And look, Patrick Mahomes has shown that he's a really talented quarterback. But I think 0-4 is really tough to come back in the NFL. Really tough to come back.
It's tough, but not undoable.
Yeah, but I mean, you also have to look at what's behind you there. I mean, their schedule does not stop. It just doesn't stop. I mean, they've got tough game after tough. You don't look at any one of their games right now and be like, oh yeah, they're definitely going to win that game. Not one.
Houston Texans, Seattle, Denver, Jaguars.
The Texans might be an underrated team. We don't know how good Davis Mills is.
We do. He is going to be the best quarterback in that class.
They'll probably split versus the Raiders because that's what they do every year.
Yeah, that's their MO. They split against the Broncos, they split against the Raiders, and they sweep the Chargers for whatever reason. I
think that'll be opposite this year. I think that they'll get swept by the Chargers.
So Combs Jr. says Field will be a quarterback or a playoff quarterback this season, and yes, Fields will beat Green Bay in a series sweep this season, putting Rodgers in his retirement spot.
Ooh, I like the way you think. I like the cut of your jib, sir.
Sounds like I want to please my daddy. Please my daddy.
Look, I like the way you think. I don't think that that's a realistic expectation. To expect Justin Fields to lead this team to the playoffs. I don't think that they're better than Green Bay right now. I don't think that they're better than Minnesota right now. Could they play better? Could they prove me wrong? Absolutely. I mean, look, again, anything can happen in an NFL season, right? Because if I would have told you last week preseason that the Cincinnati Bengals would be in the Super Bowl, you probably would have laughed at me and asked me what I was smoking, right? So, I'm not going to tell anybody that it's not possible, but I like the optimism. I just don't know how realistic it is.
I think a realistic goal for the Bears this season is to split the division. So go 3-3, a win from each team. That's that. I think that is a very obtainable goal.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't expect them to take a step back. You know what I mean? Like I don't expect that at all. I expect them to maybe stay the same, which was what were the Bears at last year? 5 wins, 6 wins.
I believe they're 4 wins, weren't they?
No, I believe they're 5 or 6. But I expect them to be a little bit better. Justin Fields, knowing this is his team, not having anybody else there to breathe down his neck, knowing this is his team to do his thing, I think that relaxes him. I think that this kid is smart. I think he's a student of the game, and I think he's better than what people think he is because of how he played last year. And I think that had more to do with the coaching staff than it did with Justin Fields.
And maybe not the proper teaching from Andy Dalton as well, because Dalton thought he was a starter. But that's a conversation for another way. The next way or no way on the docket here, Combs. Way or no way, Aaron Rodgers is done after this season. This is 2-time MVP Aaron Rodgers. 2-time MVP or back-to-back MVP, I should say, and Aaron Rodgers that threw for 4,100 yards last season for 37 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions. Way or no way, Aaron Rodgers is done after this season.
I thought he was done last season. So you know what I mean? Like I really thought that we had seen the last of Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. I really thought that we had seen the last of Aaron Rodgers in the NFL. I'm actually surprised he's back for this season. So I'm going to say it's a way. And it won't surprise me this time when he does retire, because I just think that he's got other things he wants to do. I mean, he's into all sorts of weird shit off the field. I mean, this guy's smoking crack or something to relax. I don't know what it was. He's doing some sort of psychedelic drugs or whatever he's doing in his spare time. Which let's ask this question: how the hell has that not been investigated?
That's a great question. I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like
right.
The guy admitted to doing psychedelic drugs, like what was he like shrooms or something? And he's talking about like all these hands and bodies of his ancestors touching him and stuff like that, which that's weird too, dude.
Yeah.
So what you felt while you were high was the hands of all of your family members touching you. Okay.
That is
so
kind of weird.
I don't know. I don't see him playing past the season. I really don't. I think he's done in Green Bay. I think he's done completely. But I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers, so who knows? Who
knows? So I'm going to go with no way on this, but this is his last year in Green Bay. He is kind of going to get the Brett Favre kind of get out of town kind of sweep, because we need to figure out who we have as a quarterback here, because Jordan Love is entering his 3rd season, and next year will be his 4th season, and he does have that 5th-year option. So if he doesn't perform in his fourth year, the Green Bay Packers could, in theory, go get a free agent quarterback, Jimmy G. They could draft a guy. A guy out of Kansas State would probably be great, because Skylar Thompson is going to be the next Tom Brady. So that's what Kansas State is going to start birthing quarterbacks. But no way Aaron Rodgers is done after this season. Aaron, you say, Combs, that Aaron Rodgers is into like all this other stuff, but like, let's just be honest. He doesn't have any family. He has been engaged twice and broke up twice. He now has a tattoo on his arm at the age of like 40, right? Like he has nothing to live for outside of the game.
And he's showing up to practice like he's trying out for Con Air 2.
Yeah.
Like the guy's weird, man.
Yeah. And like
Aaron Rodgers is weird. He's a great quarterback. He's an all-time great quarterback. But this dude is weird.
He's very weird. Yeah. Very weird. Combs says he is still with Danica Patrick. No, he broke with Danica Patrick like 3 years ago. He was in like engaged to that one ugly ass girl, whatever her name was.
He was with some tree hugger girl.
Yeah. What was her name? I can't remember. It was a weird thing. He goes from Danica Patrick, smoking hot race car driver, to this hippie tree hugger girl that hasn't worn deodorant since 1996 or something. It was freaking weird.
Maybe we can get her some Manscaped for her armpits.
Hey, they do have that ball toner. Maybe you'll like tone up the arms and like Make it smell good. You never know. Are you ready for the last way or no way of the night, Combs?
Let's do.
This is one that's going to be very near and dear to your heart. Okay. So the Little League World Series is happening right now, Combs. Like, I catch myself watching it. Bunch of 12-year-olds living life, and the Kellogg's guy is, they're great, right? So way or no way, the Little League World Series is better than the WNBA.
Oh God, I've watched way more Little League World Series games than I have WNBA games. I've actually watched a couple of WNBA games lately, and it's not bad. I'll tell you this: I will watch a WNBA game regular season before I'll watch an NBA game regular season. But when it comes to this question, I think for me it's the Little League World Series just because I love the passion that these kids are playing with. I love the fight, the determination. I mean, these games can be really, really good. Now you get teams like this Hawaii team, man, is just blowing everybody. They've run ruled every team they've played. Yeah, like it's not even close. But no, some of these games are just fun. You see the passion, you see the drive. It does suck sometimes when you're watching these kids that lose, crying on the field. Excuse me. Something stuck in my throat, but crying on the field, you're like, damn, you start feeling for these kids, you know? But no, for me, I'd rather watch the Little League World Series, but it's not because of the WNBA. It's because of the product that the Little League World Series is.
Yeah, I mean, let's just look at the ESPN and ESPN2 and ESPN News rundown for the next 24 hours, right? Mm-hmm. On ESPN, they have 7 Little League World Series games. Mm-hmm. Okay, Combs? There are slated WNBA games for tomorrow. None of them will be aired on national television. 12-year-old Little League World Series is being aired over WNBA. And ESPN is the home of WNBA. What does that tell you?
Yeah, I mean,
give me a Little League World Series every day of the week. I love it.
Yeah, that's what it is. And this is championship weekend, right? I mean, you got the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals this weekend. Yep. So
month of August, give me the Little League World Series 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, fucking love it. Absolutely. But so switch it around. Would you rather watch an NBA game or a WNBA game?
NBA. I just because I like dunks.
Yeah. And, well, I mean, the WNBA I think puts on a better product. Like they play defense. They shoot the ball. They pass the ball. Like they move the ball. I think that they are a better basketball product than the NBA. They just don't. For one, they don't draw the fans that the NBA draws. Obviously, they don't. It's not the same product. But to me, it's a better watch because I'm watching highlights of guys, like James Harden taking 7 steps to the rack
6.5. Come on.
And nobody calling anything. You know what I mean? Like
right. I get what you're saying.
To me, it's just a better product. I don't really care for the NBA.
Now, I'm not saying that the WNBA is a bad product, but the WNBA has to play team basketball. It has to be fundamentally sound because they're going to miss a layup 50% of the time, and you have to be there to get the rebound because they're going to miss it. At least, so you are a game of chess matches, right? You love the Major League Baseball because of the chess match that happens on the field in the managers, right? In the NBA, in the regular season, like a lot of chess matches are happening. They are daring said person to take shots because I'd rather not this person not take a shot. Like it is a chess match at the end of the game. Like NBA regular season, it takes diehard fans to really understand the game inside the game. Like, I'm not saying I'm a diehard NBA fan by like any means, but I see the game inside the game. And I don't think the WNBA has that, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, I mean, it might be. Yeah, I mean, they'd have to do something to really get out there if they ever want to compete with anything out there. I mean, it's just it's the way that the world is, right? Like nobody's going out there to watch the WNBA. Nobody's, I don't see anybody wearing Chicago Sky jerseys walking down the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you see that TikTok of the kid? Why are you here today? My school maybe come and we're getting free hot dogs. Do you know who you're here to see? Some basketball team. Well, the Chicago, like the Chicago Sky. Who? I thought we were seeing the Bulls or something. It was just like, it was so out in left field. It was crazy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, it's just not. And as you'll have females out there, and I've had females out there say, "Oh, they should be paid more. They should be paid like NBA players." Blah blah blah, equality. And I'm like, really? How many WNBA jerseys you own?
Yeah,
you don't even support the product, so how the hell are you gonna expect anybody else to support the product?
Yeah, it is like
you can't compare apples to oranges and expect to get a fruit salad.
Yeah, it is like, let's take a quote from Alpha Rob earlier. You cannot expect customers when your food sucks, right? You cannot expect to make $100 million a season when there's 20 people in the stands. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's not the thing. Did I know I wanted to get in before we left. I want to get into this Tony La Russa and the White Sox thing. And one of the things that I want to get into is you've got a manager who 3 times this season has called for a player to be intentionally walked when that player has had a 1-2 count on him, while his pitcher is ahead in the count. And not only that, but you've got this guy who's just so lost, can't run I don't understand. And then I start thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? That's not his fault. It's not the player's fault. It's not the pitcher's fault. It's not Tony La Russa's fault. It's the damn management's fault. It's the ownership's fault, who put this guy in this position that he should not be in. Put these players in positions that they should not be in. Put a roster together full of 9 DHs to put on the field. Like, this team, this roster is so disappointing. What this team could be is so disappointing because of what ownership and management has done to this team and done to this city. Should be a time where White Sox fans are watching their team compete for the World Series, and instead they're hoping that they maybe somehow back into the playoffs, and then they're going to get swept in the first round. Like, it's mind-boggling how ownership and management of Chicago sports teams continue to do this. I don't get it, Buck.
So, guys, this is your Chicago Cubs fan boasting about how great the Chicago White Sox are. I'm just letting you guys.
I said should be. How great they should be right now.
But
the White Sox should be the better team in town. Right now, the Cubs are a more fun watch.
Let me ask you this.
They just are. They're battling, and the White Sox aren't.
We just talked about the game inside the game. Are you missing the game inside the White Sox game?
What's that?
Like, no, not like I'm just legitimately asking a question, like, because the first time we talked about this back in April or May, I think it was, and then the next guy hit like a home run, like a 2-run home run, right? Did we miss something? Was it because we're all about analytics now? Did the analytics say that the pitcher had a better matchup versus said player?
No, I think what's happening is this guy is just, I think he's forgetting what the count is. He's like 145 years old. I think he just doesn't know what the count is.
Maybe he's drunk.
The pitcher's reaction when he called for ball 4 or put the 4 fingers up the other night on a 1-2 count was like, what are you kidding me? Like, I've got this guy. I'm ahead of this guy 1-2. So and you're going to put him on base?
As a player, what would you do? Would you overrule that?
You can't overrule it because once you get it to the umpire, the manager puts it up to the umpire. They give him the base. What I would do is I would go back into the clubhouse and I would say, don't ever put me on the mound again. I am done playing for you. I mean, I would absolutely get together as the players and I would revolt against this because it's stupid. It's asinine. He's the only guy in the world that thinks it's a smart play. And then he tries to defend it. And I'm like, the first time that he did it, he walks the guy 1-2. The next guy comes up and hits a 3-run bomb.
Yeah. I mean,
like
when they first hired this guy, you said it was the worst hire ever, like hands down.
It just made no sense. I mean, look, this guy's a Hall of Fame manager, but he's a Hall of Fame manager that ended his career managing 10 years ago.
Right.
And you brought him back. And the reason why the owner brought him back, his whole reasoning was because he wanted to correct the worst mistake he's ever made. Because he had a World Series contending team, and he wanted to bring back Tony La Russa because he fired Tony La Russa in the 80s, and he wanted to bring him back. And he wanted that nostalgia, and he wanted to watch Tony La Russa celebrate in a White Sox jersey. And the whole thing imploded.
Yeah.
Because you have this old school, old head manager who doesn't know how to manage today's game, doesn't know how to manage today's players. They don't connect. They can't coexist. It's just a terrible situation. And I feel bad for my friends who are White Sox fans to have to sit down and watch this product. It's got to be agonizing. I know it was agonizing for me the last 3 years of the Cubs, after they won the World Series and then watching them fade into the abyss. It's agonizing. It's tough because you're like, these guys should be better than this. Why aren't we doing the things that we need to do to make our team better? And it's because ownership and management continues to do this, and I don't know why. It's throughout all Chicago sports. We're a loving fan base. We love our teams. We will give you second and third opportunities to succeed. We want our teams to succeed, but it never goes past it because it's like a cash cow for all of these owners, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, maybe if you guys had a black owner in Chicago, you would do well.
No, stop it.
Right, bonjour.
I mean, if we had a black owner, I'd be all right with it as long as it was an owner who's going to spend money in the right places. Yeah. Like, I don't care what color you're going to just spend the money. Get me a team that's going to win. Yeah,
they gave Tony La Russa $10 million to manage the team, so they're spending it in right places. You
could be black, you could be blue, you could be purple, you could be buck for all I care.
Hey,
just give me a winner.
I got nice, clean shaved balls with my Manscaped. Sit us out, Combs.
Man Hour Nation, rise up.